Society Net, the 08 machine. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater and spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz. Also, if you want to find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage where you'll find out information about our club, frequencies we operate on, and also a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. Also, I'd like to give thanks to the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a tone of 103.5 for our voice transmissions during our nets. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make a contact before our net gets fully underway on the 08 machine. This is Dave, KD7CYM, pausing. Hearing none at this time, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. So far checked in via video link is Ron, KD7QKU, Jessica, KF7UHK, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else wishing to check into the net this evening?
Good evening, Dave. This is James, WW7N in LPW.
W7N, we've made a notation that you've checked in. Thank you for joining. Anybody else out there that wishes to join? Well, with that, let's go up to Ron, KD7QKU, and get the ball rolling on the net this evening.
Well, thank you very much, Dave. This is KD7QKU over here in Tacoma, where it's 44 degrees tonight, and I'm watching the Huskies play football. So I think everybody's excited in that. We had a really nice Thanksgiving. It was kind of late. We went over to Doug, Phyllis, Joanne's sister and brother-in-law's. We got there about 4:30, and the family showed up, and we had dinner. And let's see, they put a puzzle together and a few things. So all in all, food was good, company was good, and I guess that's it for the first round. Back to that, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, Ron, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
HK up here in Everett where it's cold, and I'm fearing snow because I don't like driving in snow. And I'm hoping it only comes on Mondays and Tuesdays when I have my day off. So we'll see how that works out for me. We do have our house up in Mount Vernon that I've equipped with a couple of sleeping bags and some nice cushy things, and I could relocate up there if I need
Thanks for that. Let's go to Marysville to Bert in 7CS.
Well, hello everyone. I'm just trying to make sure the YouTube stream is running okay tonight. Everything with the grand stream seems to be working properly. Richard had sent me a text earlier saying he was having some trouble with the grand stream, I guess in the past 1 or 2 nets, but looks like it is working okay now. Let's see, in terms of Thanksgiving, didn't really do too much around the house, just had standard kind of food and stuff. Nothing too exciting there. Just got back from seeing a movie. I forgot how they use these gigantic cups now when you go to the movies. $8 for the soda. But I saw the new Knives Out movie that Netflix made, so that was pretty fun. So anyway, that's probably it for now. This is Bert and Marysville in 7CS. Back to that.
7CS. Let's go to Covington to Jim in 7QO.
7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, $8 for a jug of beverage there. That's really, I guess if they didn't charge that much for the concessions items, the ticket prices would be higher. So, on the other hand, the drinks are so large that you don't need to make a second trip to the concession stand. May need to make a trip to the restroom, but it's been a while since I did a movie as well, and usually my wife and I buy a drink like that and just share it among us. And although for some reason we buy separate snacks, perhaps that has something to do with her desire for peppermint things and my rejection of peppermint things. Well, Jessica, I don't know. I saw the local weather people this evening, just about an hour or two ago, and they said it looks like the freezing level is going to be coming down Wednesday through Friday. They did not elaborate on the weekend, but I hate to say it, but Monday and Tuesday look like the better days of the week regarding snow, at least where we are. So I don't know, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. It might be prudent to take a little beverage or snack and maybe an extra blanket in case you get stuck in the bus for a little while. Well, that will help too, and it would certainly improve everyone's spirits on the bus if the authorities would come to rescue you and everyone would be happy. They say, we don't want to be rescued, go away. Anyway, looks like you have a plan. Back to you, Dave, on 7QO.
7QO. Let's go to Bellevue to James, WU7N.
Thank you, Dave. Happy Thanksgiving weekend to all. I had a great Thanksgiving. Got invited at the last minute, but by that time I had kind of figured out how to do everything here. So I did go out with someone on Friday and had a great sort of day after Thanksgiving meal there. So yes, Jessica, the holiday get-togethers are what make the holidays, right? Technical notes here. For some reason, the 1.2 gigahertz signal goes from unreadable to full color. It's I suspect that could be because there's wind blowing around up there. Just a whole lot of variation in the readability of the analog video signal. For anyone who's trying tonight at 1.2 gigahertz, this is probably not the best starting night. Our signal usually is much more stable than this. Dan and Jessica, I noticed you guys aren't muted, so I don't know if that's making any difference to anything or not, but I just thought I would mention that. let's see. I was whining about $10 for 3 micro-sized burgers at Dick's, but Bert, you got me beat there. $8 for the bucket of soda. That's definitely showing you the real effects of inflation, and also just that whole the theater industry, the fast food industry, the restaurant industry. I mean, I guess as a equity, I guess they call that what, hospitality. Must really be struggling to get back because it seems like everything is just super expensive. I have someone who's probably going to be trying to rent a car here, and I think he had a little sticker shock on what it takes to rent a car now. Yeah, the $19.95 per day Hertz special is so far in the past. I guess it's been a long time since he's rented anything, but I think that was a little shock to him. And no, I'm not going to rent him my car for $19.95 a day. That was off the table. And you amaze me because, I mean, you've gotten past the peppermint barrier in your marriage. You have a completely open snacking marriage. This is an accomplishment. As long as you don't get up and, slap the peppermint dude up on the stage when you're given the big award, that was a turn for the worse for one actor. So if you can keep the peppermint temper under control, you'll be fine. With that, this is James, WW7ATS in Northeast Bellevue, turning it back to Dave with our Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net tonight.
WU7N, thanks for that, James. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, let's see, here in Lake City, I got 44 degrees out, and boy, it is chilly. I got outside today when the sun broke through the clouds and cleaned out a bunch of leaves from my driveway. Oh my gosh, my maple tree decided it was going to shed, and boy did it shed well. So I filled up one of those 90-gallon containers full of leaves, so I got that out of the way. So anyway, Thanksgiving went well. I did not partake in turkey, but I did have spaghetti and meatballs with a side of Italian sausage. So anyway, that was my Thanksgiving dinner, so away from the traditions. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM, so I'm going to turn it back up to Ron, KD7QKU, and maybe we can get an update on the UW football game.
Okay, well, thank you again, Dave. KD7QKU here. Well, the Huskies scored a touchdown, so now it's Huskies 7, Cougars 3. They got a field goal on their first drive. So anyway, let's see. So Joanne had a turkey breast, so she cooked the turkey breast on Friday, and she'd taken sweet potatoes, candied sweet potatoes, to the Thanksgiving dinner. There was quite a few left over, so we had those, and then she made a cream bean salad, and what else? The normal stuff. Anyway, so stuffing. So we've just been having Thanksgiving here at home again and again, and it's really, really good. So my family is coming over tomorrow, and we were going to have brunch or breakfast, but then Stephen has a new girlfriend, and she goes to church, so she can't come to after church, so it was decided to have lunch instead. So we're going to have, I think Joanne's going to make taco soup, I think. So we'll have a good visit with them. That'll be fun. Let's see, today I hadn't driven the pickup for about a month, and so I'd taken the pickup and drove around a while, and then I'd taken Joanne to the grocery store. She needed to get a few things and warmed the old pickup up, so it's good for a couple more weeks. And let's see, I'm going to extend my mic cable here on this radio. It's an ICOM. I extended the mic cable in the pickup. I just used a Cat 5 cable and it worked just fine. So I just needed some connectors. So I got a connector so I can put the two cables together. And I have those coming in from Amazon, and we'll see how that works, if it works. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So I guess Jessica's got snow in the background there. I guess that's not out her window. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
87QKU, and ho ho ho, let's go to Jessica in the snow.
A couple of years ago out my front door, and I like looking at it. I like staying inside and looking at it out the window. That's my favorite thing. Eating, some warm apple pie with, not apple pie, but a warm pumpkin pie with some ice cream on top. And just for the record, anything mint, I like. Mint hot chocolate, I like junior mints, candy canes that are mint. I'm a mint person, but I understand. Some people do not like mint. Sylvia usually does not like the mint, so I usually get her mint, which is good for me. When I get a mint ice cream, it's usually all to myself. And on the large drinks at the theater, somewhere I heard, probably on NPR, because I'm an NPR nut, that the ticket prices that they're able to charge for the movies barely covers the cost of the rental of the movies. So if you didn't have a concession stand, they would pretty much pull up and draw and blow away, because the concession stand really keeps those seats clean and dry in those theaters. So live with that. You always go get the giant popcorn. I think there's one place that gives you the refilling popcorn, and so we'll get our money's worth out of that. And I usually go for maximum amount of butter they'll put on for me. If I got the bottom kernels floating in butter, I'm a happy person. And salt goes on that too. And which is probably why I go to the doctor for medicine to keep myself alive. But I'm gonna die a happy person with a smile on my face and butter dripping down my lips. With that, I'm gonna pass it back. KM7UHK.
UHK, let's go on to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, well, let's see. Let me make sure I'm on the right frequency there. Okay, I don't know that I have too much else to talk about. It's just been a busy week with work, and happy to have a little bit of free time to hop on the net tonight. I missed the past couple, so sorry about that. Let's see, what else is going on? Someone was asking about my generator before the net. I have not heard back from the generator folks yet as to when the replacement engine will be shipped out. I imagine it was going to take a couple weeks. So nothing new on that yet. So hopefully we don't have a windstorm coming up and don't have another power outage, because it probably won't be able to run very long before it chews up all the oil again. Nothing else to report right now. So this is Bert in Marysville, and Seven back to that.
Yes, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Bert, we'll keep our fingers crossed. I heard that we're supposed to get some winds. Is it tomorrow? Sometime within the next couple of days, between now and Monday for sure. Although you may be far enough north that it may not be a big problem. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that. And hopefully any trees that were going to fall down already came down with the last windstorm up in your neck of the woods. You already got hit pretty badly, unfortunately. Let's see. Jessica, concession stands. Yeah, I always get something from the concession stands as well. I kind of look at it sort of as giving them a tip. It's keeping maybe keeping a job for someone or whatever. I'm a popcorn aficionado myself. I don't know. wish they had a vending machine which dispensed beer along with the popcorn, but I have yet to find that. So if anyone knows of a theater that does that, let me know and I will patronize them a little bit more, at least occasionally. Let's see, weather, I've got 44 degrees at the house here, just south of Covington as well. It rained just a little bit between dark and now, but nothing serious. Doesn't seem to be terribly windy here. Not perfectly calm, but pretty light right now. And but having said that, the video that I'm receiving from our 1.2 gigahertz television repeater is also lousy, worse than I've seen in a long time. In fact, it's a bit intermittent. Right now I see nothing, but it'll be back in a few seconds. Maybe it's wind up there. It's who knows. Anyway, back to you, Dave, N7QO.
And it's time for an ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to James, WW7N in Bellevue.
I was told about a great cartoon I was looking for. It has the turkey sitting with the doctor and they're having a very concerned conference and the doctor's pointing at the blob in the middle of the turkey on the x-ray and he goes, yes, I'm afraid it's stuffing. Anyway, well, Jessica, you two have a mint-divided relationship. That's two out of 6 tonight, so that's amazing. And you know, it's there was gosh, what was it? It wasn't a Far Side cartoon, but it was that same genre where the guy is pigging out on his hearty man breakfast, and the caption reads, just as he was enjoying his hearty man breakfast, he could hear some of his smaller arteries snap shut. That's the caption on that one. I was looking for that to see if I could throw it up on the screen, but I couldn't find it fast enough. I have an idea for you on your generator. Actually, this is not an original idea. A colleague of mine, I did not personally witness this, a colleague of mine swears this is true. In the 1980s, he was flying on some airline in part of Equatorial Africa, and they were using a Soviet single-engine aircraft that had a radial engine. And the radial engines are famous for dripping oil, but they had a really good system. They would slide a giant barrel as soon as the plane came to a stop underneath the radial engine. And you thought, oh, well, that's very ecologically sound of them. But no, that wasn't the reason why. 3 guys on this double ladder setup, when they were getting ready to leave, picked the barrel up and poured it all in a funnel back into the top of the engine. Seals are a little worn on the radial engine, I guess even more so than usual. But he said, it worked, and it's typical Soviet-era technology. I don't think, if anything of any viscosity that engine would probably still keep turning over. I did see one of these aircraft in Cuba, and it is an amazing thing. It's a huge, giant radial engine. I understand everybody wears earplugs on the aircraft. It's noisy. It's incredibly noisy. But it's a big airplane, and from a distance, it almost fools you how far away it is because you don't think it's as big as it is until you get right up next to it. You get a big giant drip pan underneath your generator motor, and then just pour it back in the top as the evening progresses. Maybe that would work. And Jim, yes, there are beer vending machines not only in Germany, but this is still true. They're at work. I don't know. Let's see. The last information I had that was from an engineering friend of mine. He goes, "Oh, this is interesting." But people, I guess, used them would get a beer at the end of the day, and it was pretty low alcohol stuff. At some point, I'm sure the alcohol content, with the beer in Germany, some of it, you don't drive after you have one. Some of it's very high alcohol content. So I think that stuff that comes out of the vending machine, I don't know what the magic number is, but I can't help but believe there's probably some kind of limit isn't nutritionally that sound. It doesn't really have as much nutritional value as getting other kinds of fats in you, but at least it makes you look better, I guess, if you're starving to death in the winter in the south part of Germany. But maybe it was just the Prussians who prescribed that to the people in the south part, or maybe the south people prescribed that to the Prussians. I don't know. They still hate each other. That's something that's also never changed. Well, so much for European commentary. This is James, WW7N in Northeast W. I guess I will turn it back to Dave, our net control. Go ahead and take it away, Dave.
With that, James, WU7N. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, Jim would be happy to know in Phoenix area at the Scottsdale theaters, they have a full alcoholic bar that's in each theater, so you can get your libations. I don't know what the price was. I didn't check that out, but I do know at the counter you can get your $12 bucket of popcorn, and also they have hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken tenders, and fish sticks that you can get at the bar. So, I mean, you can go for the full deal meal and spend $50 on a hot dog and drink, so to speak, with some popcorn. So that was my observation when I was in Scottsdale in the Phoenix area this last summer. Anyway, the $8 drink that Bert got, it's so sad that it was just carbonated water. One would think there'd be a little alcohol in that for $8, but I guess with the concessions that you get at the football games now with $20 beers, that would not only be non-existence, but it wouldn't be delivered for $8 for an alcoholic drink. So this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. So let's do an update again with Ron, KD7QKU on the football game.
KD7QKU here. Well, it's Cougars 10, Huskies 7. Huskies have the ball right now. I haven't been to a movie for a long time. And the last time we went in the afternoon, and it was 50%, off tickets for senior citizens. And I don't remember what we paid, but I know movies are much more expensive than they used to be. But I saw an interesting thing on TV tonight on the news, or maybe it wasn't the news, something right after the news, maybe. They were talking about they're starting to include tips on your bill at the department store and places. So when you get your bill now, you have the opportunity to tip. And they asked people what they thought about tipping all over at various stores and everything, and people were not in favor of it. They didn't think that was a good idea. I kind of tend to agree with them. In a restaurant, maybe when somebody provides you with service, it's okay to tip. I'm not a big tipper myself. I've tipped the bare minimum probably. Jiminy Christmas, here in the Seattle area, the minimum wage is probably more money than I ever made. Needless to say. What is it? It's almost, $16 or $18 in Seattle, I believe. So you were talking about drinking I only worked one place where you could drink, and they didn't care if you had an ice chest sitting by your toolbox and you had a beer while you were working. I probably did my best car painting when I had a couple of beers. At least I didn't care how it came out. Maybe that's why I thought it was this. But yeah, some of the guys drank quite a bit at work. Unfortunately, it was just one shop in South Seattle, but they were out in the county, and the boss didn't care. So there was a strip joint, that I can't remember the name of the restaurant now. It was kind of a bad place. We used to go over there for lunch and have a beer and watch the entertainment. I don't know if Joanne ever knew that or not, but I did that for quite a while. Okay, back to that KD7QKU.
go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
UHK, I saw a movie in a place called Cinebar, Cinebar, and that you could order, and they'd come around to where you're sitting, and ask, they'd give you a menu, and like said that chicken tenders and French fries, and fish sticks, and I don't think the food was very good. I had a pizza that felt like it came out of the microwave. It was not very good at all. And Sylvia had a drink, and she said it wasn't very good. But it does have drinks, alcohol, hard alcohol, and food. And it was not as disruptive as I thought it would be. But the food just wasn't very good. If the food had been really good, it would have made a whole big difference in the enjoyment of the place. But it's up on the county line here, between King and Snohomish County. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see, tipping. Yeah, tipping. I tip at places that serve me something, bring me food and stuff like that. I tip your standard things, but tipping when you go shopping, like at Fred Meyer's, that does not make sense to me. I'm going in to give them money to get something. It's not like they're building it right there and building it fast. Build it faster, I'll give you a better tip. It's not how that's not what they're doing. KF7UHK.
7UHK. Let's go to Bert, N7CS in Marysville.
Okay, let's see. For Jim, I think back when I was in Houston, there was this theater called the Alamo Draft House where you could get beers, alcohol, and things like that, and other food cooked for you and delivered out to you, similar to what Jessica was just describing there. But I think I only went to that once just to kind of try it out. But I think the one time I went, we ordered some drinks, and they ended up like spilling it right before, because it was dark, and they couldn't see where they were going when they were bringing the drinks out to you. So we never went back. It didn't quite work out so well for us. But Ron reminded me of something to say about like the senior price for movies. So when I was in Las Vegas last year, we went to go see a movie there, and that was the first time I ever got a senior discount for anything. I still have a few years to go before I'm, technically eligible, so I've been both kind of insulted and grateful at the same time to see that $1 discount or whatever it ended up being. They did not give the discount to my wife though, so that was strange. They gave it to one of us but not the other. But in tipping, yeah, I've been reading that I guess the standard tip rate is now supposed to be 20%. I always thought it was 15%, but apparently it's changed sometime in the last decade, and I never got the memo. But anyway, this is Burton National in 7CS. Back to that.
N7CS, let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Tipping, well, I always thought it was 10%. But of course you can get whatever you want, or not. Interesting, there are some countries which automatically add a fee, which is supposed to be a quote tip, and then there are a lot of places where they just don't do tips, and some countries they're actually insulted if you try to give them a tip. It's like that's my job. You're not supposed to do that. So I don't know. You see it all over the place. Well, thanks for the tips on the facilities which have alcohol available. Unfortunately, none of them are near my house. But maybe popcorn and beer and a burger might be nice. popcorn and beer and pizza might be even nicer. At least that's my thought. Let's see. Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, it was okay here. My wife and I basically stayed in and just had a bit of a dinner on our own. We had some turkey with all the proverbial fixings, but hung around, watched a little football, and had a nice quiet day, an actual holiday, very, very different from when we were working. So, in that regard, it was pleasant. 87ZYM and 7QO.
QO, let's go to James, WU7N at Bellevue.
See, this makes the computer crash, but I guess I was wrong, because this is a more recent photo of a vending machine. I don't know where it's at, but I can spot the bottles on the top, just underneath the two bottles underneath the Mars bar and the Bi-Fi bar. Both of those bottles are pretty high alcohol content items. And of course, that little thing to the right underneath the empty slot, I think that's a bottle of vodka. Always to get out only accurate information on the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. So there you have it. There's a more recent picture, and it looks like it's got an alcohol warning, although I can't quite read it. But there's all the usual beers on the bottom, but there's hard booze in there too. And in case you need to drive home, there's Red Bulls on the right. So let me see if I can stop sharing without crashing the computer. Well, so Ron, you got a half-price ticket, but the last time you went to the theater, what was that, 25 cents instead of 50 cents? Is that what that was? Was it a talkie? Oh, I'm sorry, come on. I just couldn't let that one get past me. Tips at department stores. I guess I would tip at a department store if I knew the tip was going all the way back to the Foxconn factory in China. That would be the only way I would tip at a department store. That cannot be helping the situation with online sales with Amazon and Walmart if that's the new expectation. And my goodness, I've been watching some news bites coming over there. I guess they really are having a problem with the COVID. It's the mild version of COVID, but they're still doing things like locking buildings up and hauling people off to quarantine centers and all that stuff. So it's causing a great deal of social unrest over there, I guess, in a lot of places. So I hope that comes to terms soon. Someone told me that between China and India, that's 1 out of 7 people on the planet. I don't want them angry. I will send a tip if that calms things down. Let's see. I think the new theater model, has to be this sort of food and drinks. And but I'm wondering if the lack of knowing what the proper tip would have anything to do with spilling the drinks all over you in the front. Just reach in there is a possible correlation. But I don't know how else it would stay in business. And that's been that way for what, 15, 20 years? I was doing some cleaning out and I found my old video rental card. And I guess the last of those places closed down. The last one was in Alaska. Interesting thing, they kind of kept it open, and finally, why they had to close it, people weren't really coming to rent videos, but it was a place to come and socialize without alcohol, which is hard to find in Alaska during the winter months. So if you're trying to stay clean during the winter months, you would go to the video store and hang out and talk. But I guess that wasn't highly profitable because I did get word during COVID here that place finally did close down. There's also allegedly one down in Oregon somewhere, but and you can take your picture in front of it, but it doesn't actively rent videos, I don't think, anymore. If anyone has any more information on that, let me know. That's the cheery observations on life from WU7N in Northeast Bellevue. I'll go ahead and turn it back to Dave. Certainly appreciate you guys participating in the net tonight.
WU7 KD7N, and by gosh, it's time to ID again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. Well, weather permitting, Monday I'm down to get a flu shot and a COVID shot at the same time Monday morning, so I'll see if the weather is clear enough to make it there in the snow. If it's clear or not, I only have to go up to Northgate from Lake City, so it's not too far to go to get the shot. And I was listening to tipping, and it was kind of interesting in the story that I was watching on TV. They were saying restaurants' gratuities are supposed to be around 20%, and takeout at a restaurant is supposed to be 10%, but they didn't include if you're supposed to tip at McDonald's or some of those type of places where it's just hit and run, so to speak. So that was kind of interesting. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City, and yes, back to the food that was available in the theaters in Arizona. Pizza was on the menu too, and they did deliver up to your seat in the theater. But also there was two big theaters that had a full sit-down dining room meal with a theater projection going on with a movie. That was kind of an interesting thing if you wanted to partake in that. Did not go to any one of those two events, but it was kind of interesting. So with that, this is Dave, KD7ZYM. We'll send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Well, I got to start out with last thing first before I forget it. There used to be a dinner place theater, in Seattle. We went in there quite a few times. You could have dinner and drinks and watch a live performance. That was a good deal. We enjoyed that. Went there quite often. And then I was just wondering, Jessica, have they been tipping you as a bus driver? Maybe it's something new. I never got tips when I was a bus driver. I had a few people give me goodies. They made cookies or something. Would hand me a little bag of cookies. So let's see. I have lots of movies here now on TV with the Fire Stick, and I have Fubo, I guess it is. And the last two movies I chose, other than the Christmas movies have been really good. On Hallmark, we really enjoy Hallmark movies. But they've been crummy movies. I picked them from the title, and they have a little description, and I thought, yeah, this should be pretty good. Well, it turned out to be crappy. Joanne went to sleep, and I was sorry I even had it on. So, I don't know if like the movies in the theater, I don't think it'd be worth paying to see them. The other thing that I did last night, yesterday afternoon, I was a little bored. My foot, still not too good, so I'm still hobbling around. So I got out my laptop computer and turned on Web SDR, and I hadn't done that for a long time. And I listened to guys on 40 meters and 80 meters and 20 meters. Listen to their conversation. Sure, you can't talk to them. I listened to one station out of Utah for a while. Listened to some of the nets. I think to Columbia Basin Net and Pacific Northwest Net for a while, and then shifted to a repeater in on the California. I want to say San Francisco, but I can't remember where it is for sure now. And listen to those guys. It was kind of fun. I probably spent 3 hours doing that. While I was had TV on, it was probably a football game on, so the football game, and I'm listening to these guys talk. So yeah, Web SDR, hadn't been there for a long time. Kind of fun. Maybe I wanted to get out the radio. I have a radio in the garage, but I don't have an antenna for it. I could hook it up to the 2-meter antenna, I suppose, and see what was going on locally. All right, back to that KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
In boredom times, I have watched a couple of Hallmark Channel movies at Christmas time, and and they're usually pretty awful. But there's one I like that I don't even know if it is Hallmark Channel. It's called Snow Globe, and there might be a couple named that, but there's one in particular I thought was pretty cute. Let's see. I have been given a candy bar while I'm on the bus, and I cherished it. It was like, oh, I got a treat from the driver, and I felt pretty good about it. He gave me a little wink or something after Halloween. I got it just for you. It's like, oh, thank you. So I enjoyed that. Bus tipping, I think, would be an excellent idea. You could put money into the box, or you could just hand it to me right here. But there's 11 cameras on these buses, so I don't think I should take tips just yet. And before they had video stores, there was a place up on Kent East Hill that I used to go to before I'd go to work and browse through the junk they had. And they had this one shelf of videotapes, VHS tapes that you could rent, and which is where I found the movie The Quiet Earth. It's from New Zealand, and it's great. I think it's a really great movie. It's kind of bizarre, but it has a great storyline to it. But that was before they had video stores of the actual kind where you could go look through a catalog of all the. They just had a bunch of films in there, and you could go rent them, and that was pretty cool. With that, I am done here. This is KF7 UHK.
7 UHK. Let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Okay, let's see. I was reminded of something. So I was reading about this. So apparently there have been some people doing some digital video ATV experimentation between Europe and the U.S. over HF, and they were able to take a DVB-S, maybe S2, I'm not quite sure, signal, and send it. I can't remember what band it was. I don't remember offhand. But they were able to actually send it across the Atlantic from somewhere in Europe to somewhere on the east coast of the U.S. It didn't work for very long though because the band conditions weren't very good. But that was pretty cool to hear about that. I don't know exactly how many seconds of video they got, but they did manage to do something, and they're continuing to try testing now. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, this is Bert and Marshall, and so back to that.
7CS. Let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, I've heard of amateur television over HF. Not terribly common, not terribly popular, I don't think, but I have read about that sometime, probably a couple of years ago, and I don't recall how they accomplished that, but digital would probably be a new thing. I know that slow scan television is still reasonably popular, or at least it was the last time I checked. There are designated frequencies for that. I've never really looked at that. I don't have the software to decode that, but interesting. Let's see. Dinner theaters. Yeah, I've been to several actually. One in the Seattle area. Don't remember the name of it. Don't remember where it was, but that was kind of interesting. Wouldn't want to go there all the time though. They charge you more for that steak than you had to pay for that big gulp that you got there, Bert. Man. So anyway, let's see. But having said that, I don't really need all that. Popcorn, beer, and maybe pizza. I'm kind of a simple guy. I'm a low maintenance guy. That will get me by just fine. In fact, when I was in college, for the first 3 years, my diet almost exclusively consisted of popcorn and canned beans. I used to get 3 cans of beans for $1, and that's one of the ways I was able to pay for my my rent. But thankfully, those days are a few decades behind me. Can't get them for that price anymore. Let's see. Oh, Ron, WebSDR. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's I kind of forgot about that. You can accomplish that without even having an antenna put up. That's kind of cool. That's something to keep in mind. Thanks for mentioning that again. And tipping, yeah. Tip your bus drivers. Tip your pilots too, for that matter. I don't know. Back to you, Dave, N7QO. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I just captured a giant-sized moth. I don't know whether I wanted to let it go or try and make a little saddle for it. It's very large. Anyway, I should let it go, and then it can enjoy its last 2 days, because it's supposed to get to 27 degrees around here Tuesday morning. I wanted to show you, there's the Blockbuster video card that I found, and I see it was issued on 02/01/01. And this is how your mind plays tricks on you, because I know I had Blockbuster video cards or various video cards when I lived back in D.C. That was the 1980s. But just in case any of you are holding Blockbuster stock, let me share this chart with you right here. If you're still holding it, I think it's down to 0.004 cents. But wow, it was burning on the uptick from 2001 until it peaked about 2003, and then. Yeah, it kind of came down in a hurry, but I just thought I'd show that to everybody, a little blast from the past there. So I can see here we're down to our last 8 minutes. I do remember The Quiet Earth. That movie almost was entirely one actor, wasn't it? Doing a monologue? A couple actors, yeah. I do remember that, and I can't remember the actor's name. Maybe Jessica could pop that in before we close up, because I see we got 7 minutes left. So let me turn it back to Dave for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. This is WW7N.
7N, and it's ID time again for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, and for Jessica, I guess getting a handout as a driver would be great, but I just question those nummy chocolate brownies that they might give you while you're driving along. That would be the only question I'd have. But it could make for some interesting driving conditions. This is Dave, KD7ZYM. With that, I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU here. Again, I had to run out and get a piece of tape. My TV antenna just fell off the end of the cabinet. I had it taped up there. And I didn't want to have somebody step on it. Let's see. I didn't make any notes this time. There. Yeah, Jim, it's web, sdr.org. It's org, so if you want to look at it, it's websdr.org. And you have some choices. A lot of choices. But I chose American West Coast stations to look at, go through. So let's see, Richard just showed up. This is going to be a high-scoring game. It seems like each team just about scores every time they get the ball. So the Huskies is 21 and Cougars are 17. And I don't know. I guess it's in the second quarter. Yeah, there's 8 minutes to go in the second period. Let's see, what else is going on? I told you that people are coming over here tomorrow. And I told you about Stefan's girlfriend. She socializes rabbits. That's her business. that, I've never met the lady or girl, so I'm going to meet her Sunday, I hope, and find out a little bit about her business. She makes big money, so Stephen says, that people fly her all over the country to deliver those rabbits after she socializes them and stuff. He said she's doing really quite well, so more power to her, I guess. Maybe she gets tipped too on top of it. I don't know. Yeah, Jim, we don't eat out too much, but it seemed to me like, the minimum tip was 15%. Maybe they've raised it to 20 now, I don't know. A friend of mine, Kim, who lives up in Linwood, he just ate out at Applebee's. He always complains about his food, but I was surprised. Maybe it's because he hasn't been out eating any place for a long time, but he said Applebee's was really good. So that kind of surprised me. I think somebody did get another touchdown. Well, it doesn't show on the scoreboard. Something happened. So I think as soon as the time's up here, 9 o'clock, I think I'm going to say goodbye and watch the rest of the game. I'm kind of interested in this game, too. So Richard, I'm sure that's what he's doing. So let's see, I guess I'm just going to pretty much say 73s and turn it back. So everybody have a good weekend, the rest of the weekend. And we'll talk at you probably, Wednesday night? Maybe I'll have a little more to say then. Back to that KD7QK.
QKU, let's go to Jessica. KF7UHK.
Tips when our friends take us out to Chris Steakhouse down in Seattle, which is a really delicious, it's a good steakhouse. It's really, really, really good. It's delicious. The four of us, I think, the tab came to about, exactly. I met your brother down there, Mr. Dave. But I think our bill for four of us came to about $300, and I paid a tip of probably a good 20%, just because I really liked it. It was well worth it. But would I do that at McDonald's? No, I would not. So thank you. This has been a fun net, and so many notes I wrote down. We'll see you next time. This is Jessica, KF7UHK.
UHK, let's go to Bert, N7CS.
Sure if it would come back to me, but let's see, trying to remember the book. When I was in Vegas last year, I also went there, and my aunt was with us, and she told me, like, before we went, hey, I'll pay for you and your wife to come. It's like, oh, cool, okay, let's go. Then we got there, and we looked at the prices, and she's going, yeah, maybe I can't pay for you after all. These are pretty expensive steaks. I don't know, I thought it was like $90 a steak or something there. It was a lot of money, but anyway, this is Bert and Marshall, 73 all in, 70 us, back to that.
Let's go for a final with Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, yeah, I am surprised at how much more expensive things seem to be nowadays, and it surprises me a bit that tipping seems to have gone up in light of, like someone was pointing out, wages have gone up, so it's sort of, shouldn't you feel compelled to tip less if one actually got decent raises? I don't know, but that's just my 2 cents. K7ZYM and 7QO.
Thanks for that. And it's time to terminate the net for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society on the 08 machine. WW7STR repeater 147.08. We'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for allowing us to use that repeater for our voice transmissions during our nets, held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, KD7CYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening all.